Oh, did I not? I didn't even make a title for this live, but okay, that's fine. We don't need a title. That's just a label anyway. So I have no idea what we're talking about, but I think we're going to start off with a sermon about thought transmission because that's what I feel like talking about. So what is wow, I shared an invite. I didn't even know that I shared invites, but okay, thank you for joining, everyone. So let's talk a little bit about thought transmission. And the thing that I first want to say about thought transmission is going to piggyback off of a video that I just posted where I said, I am the Lord and there is none else. Because we think typically that our thoughts are our own because we're not inside anyone else's mind having the experience that they are having, right? But because a thought is intangible, that means that it's like if this is a 3D plane where our physical vessels reside and our mind, like our thoughts are over here, this is accessible to everyone, okay? Hey, what is up, everyone? So being that our thoughts are accessible to everyone, that means that there are no limits, and this is why thought transmission works, okay? So from the ego perspective, someone can have a thought and be like, oh, well, I was thinking that and that's my thought, but it really isn't. Like, it's a thought that you or whoever else has access to, but it doesn't mean that it's your thought. It means that you're just in resonance with that, okay? Now, how thought transmission works between individuals. Hey, what is up, Sun Pluto? How you doing? Being that thought transmission is a thing in manifestation. What's happening here is that individuals that are on your frequency, right? If you think of them, the thought is intangible, so it's going to them no matter where they are. They could be 2 feet in front of you, they could be 2 miles away, they could be 2 million miles away. It does not matter, okay? You are summoning them, and then their energy is like boom, okay? They're like, oh, whoa, what? Now, here's something. You never get my live notifications. I don't know how any of this works actually, but it just said that I sent out a live invite to some people, and I didn't even know how to do that either. So I don't know. Thanks for joining. But yeah, not tech savvy here. So how thought transmission works, okay? I'm gonna give you a example. Now, this happened a while ago, and basically this is just kind of like a story about how people are interpreting other people, okay? So there was this individual that I was cool with. I wouldn't necessarily call them a friend, but I was cool with this person, and we would hang out, and I never had an issue with this person, right? I never got a funny vibe. I never thought anything about them. I was just like, oh yeah, they're there. Like, they were just someone in passing, okay? Weren't someone that I had a problem with. They weren't someone that I was close to. They were just someone who was there. Thank you for the heart. Ooh. So I would hang out with this person sporadically. No issues, whatever. Everything was fine. I wasn't thinking anything because I was like, all right. So one day I was hanging out with one of my other friends. Now, I'm close to this person. This person, you know, like, was in closer proximity to me than the other person who I'd hang out occasionally. So I brought my close friend with me, and then this other acquaintance was like, oh, hey, you know, I'm here, like, what are you doing? So I was like, I'm with my friend. If you want, we could all just meet up, whatever, okay? So here's how the thought transmission played out in that situation, right? I didn't have an issue with this one individual. I thought they were cool. I was like, okay, whatever, but they weren't close to me where I really thought anything about them like that. Then when I brought my close friend around and the three of us hung out, everything was going fine. And then all of a sudden I started noticing, you know, my close friend, okay, we'll just call him close friend and acquaintance. My close friend was giving me like weird looks, okay, like giving me weird looks, like with the eye, like that, you know what I mean? And me, I'm clueless. I'm like, what is my friend looking at me like that for? Like, why, right? And so this kept happening. So I'm like, okay. And keep in mind, I trust my close friend more than the acquaintance, obviously, because they're my close friends. So I started thinking, well, maybe there's something wrong. So a little bit of time goes by, maybe like 20 minutes, and then me and my close friend are just like not saying anything about that, but my close friend is giving me looks, and I'm like, all right, I don't know. 20 minutes goes by, okay, and out of nowhere, the acquaintance that we were with, my acquaintance who my close friend never met before, started flipping out. Okay, like, just is a really weird situation, but this person basically had like a, I don't know, flip out session in the middle of the street, and my close friend was like, kept looking at me. I'm like, what just happened? And so here's the thing, this story is kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna get to the point of it, but I want to explain to you what happened. So the acquaintance that I had started flipping out, and then me and my close friend we left the chat. We're like, okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on, and I never spoke to that acquaintance again, because I was like, the situation got really weird. Okay, not to give too much personal detail, because whatever, but the situation got weird. So me and my close friend left, and when we were leaving, the acquaintance of mine started shouting at us, like, just for no reason. Like, it was just really weird. So after that, and this was years ago, this is like a while back, okay, before I was even studying the law. So I was talking to my close friend after. I'm like, yo, that was so weird. Like, what was going on? My close friend was like, did you not see the looks that I was giving you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I thought that the acquaintance was weird. Something was up with them. Something was funny with them. And I was like, you did? And my close friend was like, yeah, that's why I kept looking at you, and then you see what happened. So here's the thing, right? From the perspective of thought transmission, okay? I was in a way influenced by my close friend, thinking my acquaintance was a little fucking out there, right? Because I'm like, why is my close friend looking at me weirdly? I never got that vibe when I would hang out with either one of them separately, but my close friend started looking at me weird, and then that situation played out, and I was like, wait a second. Okay, here's how it factors into the thought transmission that people are constantly picking up. There's broadcasts, right? And I think it's perfect because there were like 3 different energies, okay? The acquaintance, maybe because my thought transmission, I wasn't thinking anything about them. I wasn't thinking anything about them, good, bad, nothing, because they were just an acquaintance, not someone I saw regularly or thought of, I was neutral towards this person. But towards my close friend, who I had more of like a stronger attachment with, of course, I'm closer to them, so I'm going to pick up on the energy that this close friend of mine is sending to me. So I started getting weirded out when my close friend was looking at me weird, and then that situation transpired. So what was basically happening, okay, is that my close friend told me after the fact, like, listen, I just got a vibe that something was off with this person, and then that's why I kept looking at you, and then that shit happened where the acquaintance started acting ape shit, okay, in like the middle of the fucking street, okay? And I never had that instance happen before with that acquaintance, because remember, I was neutral. I didn't think anything, right? But towards my friend, because we have a closer connection and my friend is looking at me, I'm like, well, maybe something is wrong. And I know it's not me, because my friend would tell me if there was, if there was an issue with me, right? Because that's how we roll. So I picked up that my friend thought that this acquaintance of mine was a little out there. And then that immediately conformed the situation, because now my friend said that the acquaintance was weird. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, whatever, like after the fact. But the whole time, the thought transmission to me was like, this person is weird, this person is weird, this person is weird. And I'm like picking that up on a subconscious level. So now I'm starting to think, well, there's something going on here, right? And then that situation escalated into what it was. So what happened there? What happened? People are always sensing what you are throwing at them energetically, okay? Because if my close friend was not in the equation and I had kept hanging out with that acquaintance without any other feedback, I likely wouldn't have thought that there was anything off about them, just because, you know, they weren't conveying that to me. But I was influenced on a way because I'm like, I trust my close friend who has these vibes about people just like I do, but for some reason my friend picked up on this vibe, which I never saw. And then in my mind, I started thinking something was off. So now you have two individuals that are thinking something is off, and the third individual is there, right? Whether there's something off with them or not, they have to behave accordingly. Okay, they have to behave accordingly because you are thinking that something is off with them. So the whole point that I'm trying to make with that is that thought transmission is always happening, but sometimes with people that you are not like super close to, okay, in that case my acquaintance, it's not necessarily going to be super strong because you're just like you're neutral towards them, okay? Thought transmission can be heightened between individuals that are close. That's why a lot of times they say like close friends, family members, married couples, like they just pick up on things instantly. So my friend was sending me vibes, and not from a place of like negativity, like, oh, I can't stand this person. It was just like a vibe that my friend got about this acquaintance of mine and kept sending it to me like something's off. And I was picking that up. And now inadvertently, I don't know what my friend is thinking until after the fact. But in the middle of that, this person, the acquaintance that my friend thought was off, exploded into some whatever it was, and into their offness. And I saw that, and in my opinion, it was maybe somehow created, because if you're thinking something and you have a close, and this is just my opinion, okay, and you have a close connection with someone else, now it's two individuals that are on the same wavelength, the shit is likely to amplify faster. Okay, that's why immediately, like in less than 20 minutes, you know, that situation happened where my acquaintance at that time just kind of started acting weird, okay, because my friend was sending me these thoughts that my friend thought something was off, and I'm picking it up, but my friend is not saying anything verbally because that person is right there too, but I'm picking it up, and they just keep looking at me like and it was really like a funny, I mean, now that I look back on it, it was like a funny situation, but in the moment, it was just very, very unexpected because I had never seen behavior exhibited like that from the acquaintance. But if someone is in a way influencing me, right, and now here's how my perspective of it is, right, because someone is going to say, oh, but you are the Lord and there is none else, so there's no one that can influence your mind, right? But like I began, the thoughts are there. They are intangible. They're not, anything for someone to claim possession over, unless you want to. Then now you claim that thought, whatever it is. But they're just in the ethers. They're just like there. You know what I mean? It's like a free for all. Okay, so. Because and this is how from my God perspective, I view this person, my close friend, obviously as a close friend in the acquaintance. I mean, not that they had lesser value, like as a person or anything, but you know what I mean? Like they weren't as significant as my close friends. So obviously in my mind, from my God perspective, I'm like, there must be something wrong because my close friend is looking at me in this funny way. So that's how I interpreted that. So I took it in because of my belief that I can trust my close friend more than I can trust that acquaintance. And then that's why that played out, because the way that thought transmission works is that, yes, you know, the thoughts are kind of there, they're just in the ethers like a free-for-all, but you still have a belief about the thoughts, okay? This is why you can have a million thoughts throughout the day, okay? And maybe probably, I mean, I don't even know what percentage of them would manifest, but a very small percentage, right? Oh, coffee, oh, pizza, oh, burger. Like you don't really care about that, right? They don't hold that much significance, okay? Just like that acquaintance of mine didn't hold significance the way my close friend did, because I'm powering up my connection with my close friend because from my belief they are close to me, therefore I can trust them more than I can trust my acquaintance, okay? So it's still your belief in the thought. So I'm having my own perception of what's going on through my God self, as was my close friend. But we were picking it up because we even say we have like a psychic bond with each other, whatever, right? So it's like, and I'm like, well, something must be going on, but it's still my belief. Whereas, let's say a regular motherfucker, I don't know who, like some Joe Blow around the corner, just like it starts looking at me weird, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what's going on there, but who cares, right? It's not gonna hold significance, even if they are trying to send me a thought transmission, because I'm already, from my God perspective, I'm like, who is this? They're not important in my realm where I'm even open to receiving anything that they would have to convey to me through a thought or whatever, right? I can maybe pick it up, but I'm like, yeah, that's not important, moving on, okay? So even with thought transmission, it's still like, yes, you are the observer, you are receiving thoughts from people, but you still are observing whose thoughts you want to pick up on and take seriously, okay? Because if a rando is giving me weird looks or whatever, I'm not going to give a shit, because I don't know them and they mean nothing in my realm, so why would I care? They're not significant in my mind. Whereas a close friend, because I have a belief that this is my close friend, I'm going to allow to give me a thought which I'm still interpreting the way that I interpret it, okay? So I knew something was off, but I couldn't pinpoint what, and then afterwards I found out. So this is why sometimes you can have an off vibe about someone and you don't really know what it is and you don't really care, but maybe there's like a coworker in your realm, right? And you don't really get along with them. Maybe they're just kind of shady, they're a hater or whatever the case, right? And you get off vibes about them. Then you find out later that maybe they're jealous of you because you got a promotion and they didn't, but you sense that there was something there, but they weren't important enough in your realm because you already deemed them as not important. Whereas, let's say if you're thinking about thought transmission with SP, because I know a lot of you are gonna fucking ask about that, if you pick up something from SP, immediately you're going to jump on it because you deem that individual as more important than a random motherfucker off the street. Now, let's get into deciphering actual fears from beliefs that you have, because we already established if you don't give a fuck about the motherfucker, yeah, there's still thought transmission, but you're not gonna even accept it as, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, they must be jealous of me, they must be having a bad day, they must not like me for whatever reason, who cares, right? But if it's someone that you deem as important, you're going to pay attention to it, likely hyper fixated in some cases, and you're going to be like, oh, but if I'm thinking about SP, that means they're thinking about me. Okay. I'm gonna get into that, but first let me pause, because I know y'all want to know, and this is why, my stories, they seem like they rambling, but they get somewhere. I promise you. We at the top of the mountain now, but I need me a sip of water. So ooh, chili pepper, thank you. So, because thought transmission is always in play, whether it's a rando at Starbucks or fucking Target, or if it's your SP, your grandmama, meanwhile, peepaw, whoever the fuck, right? You still being the operant power, you are the judgment saying, is what I'm picking up from this individual important in my realm? Or is it not? Okay, so if you are picking up a thought transmission from SP, yes, they are creating their own experience. They are having their own experience as their God consciousness. But because they cannot do anything in your universe unless you give them permission, you give them permission to be important. Okay, so now SP's thought transmissions are coming through. Oh my God, they're thinking about me. Here's the thing, okay? Yes, if you're assuming that because you're thinking of SP, they're thinking of you, then that's the story that it is, okay? But it also can be, here's the thing, intuition versus ego. Is it like a thought transmission that they're sending you, or is it something that you are projecting onto them because you deem them so important? And it goes both ways. So if you are the way to tell, right? If you are just suddenly, so you sent something, right, from SP, they cross your mind and something, and you don't feel anything towards it, okay? Because that's how the situation was when my friend was looking at me like that. Like, I didn't feel anything towards it. Like, there was no, I wasn't constricted, I wasn't excited. I was just like, something's going on, and I could mentally compute that, but I didn't feel anything. I'm like, okay, whatever, my friend will tell me later, which my friend did. So if you're picking up something, right, SP all of a sudden crosses your mind. Is it neutral? Now, you can perceive what you're thinking about SP as bad or good. It doesn't matter. But if it is a genuine thought transmission that they sent you, if it is a genuine intuitive inkling that, you know, there's something going on there, you're not going to feel anything, okay? Whereas, right, because you're just receiving it. Oh, SP must be thinking about me. Okay, cool. Moving on throughout my day, right? Cool. Yes, you can pick that up. Now, if you are constantly thinking about SP and you're worried, okay, or if you're wondering what are they doing, who are they with, whatever, right? I need to find shit out, right? That is not a thought transmission. It's going to them, yes, but that is your ego. That's not like SP is sitting there thinking, hey, I'm gonna be up to something tonight and this motherfucker is gonna stalk my Instagram. No, it's not even like that. I mean, I'm not saying it can't be in all cases, but you are thinking of SP, but you have a story about SP that they might be up to no good, and then you're thinking that it's a thought transmission. Oh, I gotta find some shit out, I gotta do this because they must be up to something because I'm sensing it. If you are feeling negative about it, likely it's a story that you have about the motherfucker, okay? Because true intuition and through true thought transmission is neutral. Because remember, it's just alignment. It just is. It's there, right? So that situation where I was with my friend and I was with my acquaintance, all of the thoughts were up here. The three of us are like down here in our physical vessels, right? But we all have access to these thoughts, and likely that's why that individual acted in such a strange way, because we're all together, we're in close proximity, okay? Even though you don't have to be, but it just happened that, whoa, I just had deja vu. That's interesting. Might be a message for someone, deja vu. But anyway, so we're all in close proximity, so the thoughts are there, and me and my friend are having this thought transmission. Something weird is going on. I didn't feel anything towards it, but because the two of us together were focused, that thought was in the air. Something weird is going on, okay? That individual that we were with picked up on it too, and I'm not thinking that my friend is doing anything weird, because remember, we're close and I don't think that way about this person. So I was like, maybe it's this acquaintance, like I don't know, okay? But because that thought was there, something is weird, okay? Me and my friend were picking up on that, and then that acquaintance was also picking up on that, because it was just there. Something weird was going to happen. That was it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just a neutral thing that we were all tapped into because it was just occurring, okay? So if you want to think of it like a buffet, okay, there's like a buffet of different type of thoughts. Now, what do you want at the buffet? You want mashed potatoes, you want fucking pizza, you want gravy, like I don't know what the fuck you want, okay? When I go to the buffet, I like me some pasta, okay? I like me some vegetables, okay? So whatever the buffet, right? The buffet of thoughts is accessible to everyone, but it's what do you prefer from those thoughts, and you pick it up. So me and my friend were like, my friend is looking at me with a preferred thing of something weird is going on. It's there. The weird thing going on is on the buffet, right? There could have been nothing going on. There could have been we all just went home for the evening. There could have been we all won $1 million that day. But no, the buffet was something weird is going on. So my friend sent me that, and because I'm in resonance with my friend and the thought was there and the thought was neutral, I picked it up instantaneously. I didn't feel any constriction towards it, because constriction means that there's some resistance to it, which means that you're not necessarily in alignment with it right then totally. Your subconscious and your conscious are not necessarily on board. So because alignment is just when your conscious and your subconscious are on board, and that's how thought transmission in my experience works the fastest, because there's nothing blocking it, right? It's like they ain't no motherfucker standing in the way of the mashed potatoes at the buffet, right? You could just easily go and scoop some up, okay? So we picked up weird story. It was there at the buffet for everyone to access, but we picked it up and we focused on it. And then because that individual was there, they're like, they had to have gotten that somehow in whatever way that they interpreted in their mind. These two think I'm weird or whatever, right? And then that's why they started acting out like that. So it was there, but it was the way that we were all interpreting it. Okay, so it's like you take the thing from the buffet. Maybe I lifted my mashed potatoes with a fork. Maybe my friend lifted the mashed potatoes with a scoop. Okay, whatever. It's all there. The way that we're interpreting it and taking it in is different because we're all having our own conscious experiences. But that doesn't take away from the fact that the mashed potatoes or the fucking thought is there for everyone to access. Okay, and how they are accessing it. Maybe the acquaintance was scooping up mashed potatoes with the bare hand and licking it off their fingers. I don't fucking know. Okay. But it was all there, but the interpretation of the mashed potatoes or the thought was different, but it was the same thought. It was there, and it had a clear channel because it was already there. There was no resistance. Now, when I'm talking about more thought transmission, I'm going to give you oh, you were waiting for my live all week. What is up? So thank you everyone for joining. I'm giving kind of like a personal sermon now. I mean, I don't know. Ooh. Oh, I like this. I like that little cowboy mustache motherfucker. Hell yeah, thank you. So that thought transmission happened that way, okay? And literally it was like an instantaneous effect, because from the moment my friends started looking at me funny and I'm like picking that up like something funky in the mashed potatoes, you know what I'm saying, then it happened in like less than 20 minutes, okay? Because remember, this situation had never happened before, so the three parties that were involved, my close friend, my acquaintance, and myself, there was no backstory built up like a dude in front of the mashed potatoes where you can't reach to the buffet. There was no resistance to it because we had never had experiences like that exactly before, okay? It was neutral, so boom, the thought transmission went through right away. Now, another situation, okay? And I think I told this on a live before, but basically what happened is that there was a situation where I'll say it again because it kind of has to do with the thought transmission, okay? Because this is a story about thought transmission with some resistance, because this is something that we'll call them my friend, and we'll call them I don't know, this individual, okay? So my friend and this individual, okay? And I knew both of them, whatever, but this was not my situation. I just heard about it after the fact. So this individual had a story, okay, about friendships in their life, okay, which I see very clearly now. There's a story about friendships specifically, okay, and it was not a favorable story about friendships, okay? Just like some individuals, they don't have favorable stories about relationships. Some don't have favorable stories about money, whatever the case may be, okay? This individual had an unfavorable story about friendships, okay? And I only really saw that after the fact when I started studying law, and I'm like, what happened with that? So anyway, my friend and this individual, okay? This transpired between the two of them, where the individual was accusing my friend of potentially doing something, and my friend would never do something like this. My friend does not do things like this. It's like, pick the most insane thing that someone could tell you would do that you know is not even in your character, and they're just accusing you of it, okay? And I don't mean through thought transmission. I mean like, well, probably through thought transmission too, but verbally accused my friend of potentially doing this. And my friend was like, what are you talking about, right? And it was brought up a few times, maybe like twice or three times, I don't know. So this was brought up to my friend, and my friend's like, yo, you crazy, like what the fuck, like I wouldn't do that. This individual just, in some weird way, and this, I would say it transpired within a year, okay? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, the first one where I said mashed potatoes, thoughts, person acting weird, it happened within 20 minutes. Why? Because there was no resistance, there's no built-up backstory. But remember, there's a built-up backstory about this individual with friendships, right? So this is an accusation that this individual doesn't want to happen, and they have resistance to it, and they're trying to be like, oh no, well, that maybe that won't happen. Oh, but it's going to happen, right? The dominant story was the accusation that this individual had towards my friend. Okay, that was a dominant story, but likely they were going back and forth in their minds. Oh no, but that's not going to happen. Oh yeah, maybe it is. Like, either which way, this was something they did not want to happen, so there was resistance to it because the energy was mismatched. Well, I think this is going to happen, but I don't want it to happen, right? Do you see? It's like it's slowing down the flow, so to speak, essentially, at least in my opinion. So after about a year, okay, my friend, during this year, my friend is getting like weird vibes from this individual, and so am I, right? Because remember, I know both of them. Ooh, thank you for the heart, love it. And we're not, this is after the fact, we're not saying anything to each other because we're not thinking too much of it. Ooh, thank you for the heart. We're just kind of like, we're living our lives. I love the little space heart, thank you. So basically, my friend would get weird vibes from this individual. I would get weird vibes from this individual. Come to find out later that this individual, because they had that story about friendships, was thinking all of these things about me and my friend, that me and my friend were literally not acting out in 3D. There was nothing, like, because we weren't tapped in to that storyline or that person like that, right? We're just living our lives. So my friend was accused of doing the thing that I know my friend would never do, and my friend has not done, and totally out of character. About a year after the first accusation started, and there was like weird vibes, picking up, because remember, the thought transmission is always going on. So even if the individual had resistance toward the story that this individual is projecting onto my friend, it's still being sent, right? Which is why my friend picked up on the weird vibes. Like, and it couldn't be pinpointed like, oh, I think this is happening or I think that's happening, but it was just like they started getting the ick towards that individual, because obviously that individual is shooting these thoughts at them. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, right? And it was something negative that this individual perceived as negative, okay? So if someone is even not near you and they're thinking negatively, you might start to get the ick from them and you don't know why. But from your God perspective, you're interpreting it as, is there something going on with them? Like, I'm not really feeling them, right? You're able to compute how these thought transmissions are being accepted by your mind, okay? So if someone is sending you thoughts that are unfavorable about you, you're in your God mode, like, the fuck, like, I don't want this shit near me. But you really might not be able to pinpoint or articulate what it is, which was in the case of my friend and this individual. So about a year later, okay, I don't think it was more than a year, but my friend actually did exactly to the T what this individual had accused my friend of potentially doing. And this is totally out of character for my friend, totally, like, has never done that before, has not done that since, like, and it wasn't like, oh my God, a major huge thing, but like to this individual, apparently it's a major huge thing. And my friend did that, and not out of like malice or spite, because remember, my friend didn't even know all of the things that about, that this individual was projecting onto them, okay? It was only found out after the fact, okay? So there was no verbal communication other than maybe like the 2 or 3 times that it was like being accused, like, oh, you're gonna do this, and they were like, no, I'm not gonna do that, but okay. But all the while getting the ick from this individual, and then they ended up doing that exact same thing, totally out of character, okay? This is why circumstances do not matter. Individuals will behave totally out of character if you keep projecting those thoughts on them. And you are acting out of character, not because you're not God in your reality, but because you are interpreting these messages on a subconscious level and you're computing them like, why am I getting the ick from this person? You know, I don't really want to be around them because I'm getting the ick. But you're interpreting why you're getting the ick. So you're getting the ick because they're sending you shitty thoughts, but you don't know why until you compute it for yourself. So you might distance yourself, you might be irritated by them, you might try to avoid them, whatever it is, you're picking up a vibe, but you're still the one that's interpreting, okay, what, like, this is what I see of this situation. I'm getting the ick, I don't want to deal with it, okay? And that's the same thing for anyone. So that's why when Magic Marsha, okay, I just saw that, I don't even know what's going on there, but so whatever you are thinking about, like a specific person, let's say, okay, you're thinking about this specific person and you want them to be in love with you, but you're thinking, oh no, like that's out of character, right? Yeah, logically you can say that might be out of character, but if you keep on, okay, even if you have resistance, even if you waver, if you make your dominant story, this motherfucker is in love with me, they're obsessed with me, they can't live without me, they follow me around like a lost dog, whatever the case, if you keep broadcasting that to them through their own interpretation, they're going to start behaving differently. Thank you for the rose. Because they are picking up your thoughts. They're in love with me, they're obsessed with me, right? You're sending that to them, but how they are computing it in their mind is up to them. But now they might start thinking, I kind of want to talk to them. Let me text them, let me say what's up, right? They're gonna start to feel that and interpret it the way that they do, and then they're going to start behaving accordingly. And I tell you this because of the two situations that I just mentioned, which I saw and I can personally vouch for, and they had nothing to do with me, because it's, even in the situation where it's something personal to you, you can maybe make a logical assessment or try to and be like, oh, well, it happened because of that, or it happened because of this. But like to not be a part of it and to witness something play out in real time and it has nothing to do with you is like, whoa, like I see that so clearly. There was thought transmission at play in all those situations. And it's always, donut. Hey, what is up? Thank you for the donut. I had a donut this morning from Krispy Kreme. Fuck yeah. So it is just going to happen, your dominant way of thinking. Now, let's get into subconscious thought transmission, because we just talked about conscious thought transmission, right? Someone is perceived as being accused, I think they're going to do that. They're conscious of it, right? They're consciously projecting negativity onto someone else. So when the person behaves negatively, then oh yeah, I knew they were going to do that. Yeah, okay, you did, but you created it, so whatever. Krispy Kreme donuts, I think that's what they're called. I don't know. I got one at the Walmart because I never had one before. So I said, let me try this. That shit was banging. Oh my God, it was so good. So in those instances, right, thought transmission is at play consciously, because the person is saying, oh, you're going to do this or whatever, right? But let's talk about on a subconscious level, because let's say you are manifesting an SP and consciously you're like, well, I'm going to send them some thought transmissions that they're in love with me and they can't live without me, blah, blah, blah. But that's what you're consciously sending them. But subconsciously, if you have a belief about SP, you have a belief about relationships, guess what's going to happen? If that belief is dominant, you can send them the thought transmissions, but if you don't fix the undertone of the belief, that dominant belief is still going to play out. This is why a lot of times individuals manifesting a specific person will get wavering, or they'll get hot and cold, because there's a belief system about that person or about relationships in general that they didn't address, and it's like going on beneath the surface of the conscious mind. Okay, so I'll give you an example. You're manifesting an SP and you're saying they're in love with you, they're obsessed with you, blah, 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 blah. but on the inside you have a story, all your fucking previous exes cheated on you, okay? So that belief, you know what, okay, it's there, but you're saying SP is in love with me, SP is obsessed with me. So what might happen if those two are like kind of fighting for control, the undertone, right? Because this is what I hear sometimes. Individuals are like, but they might not have manifested a specific situation, but they were the dominant identity in that sector of who that situation would happen to. Okay, so if someone identifies as always being cheated on in their relationship sector, that's going to be the baseline. So you, oh yeah, SP's in love with me, SP's obsessed with me. Yeah, so SP comes in all smooth and charming, they're in love with you, they're obsessed with you, but then what happens? They still cheat on you because those two stories are now conflicted, so you're going to get a little bit of both. You see what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of times, you know, with conscious thought transmission, yes, you can send mind messages and things like that, but I want you to be aware as well that if you're consciously sending thoughts, did you change the undertone of it? Okay, so SP's in love with me, SP's obsessed with me, oh, but they can't commit. Okay, so maybe there's no cheating or anything going on. They just like, yeah, I love you so much, oh, but I don't want a relationship. And then you're like, what the fuck happened? Because you have a story underneath that subconsciously, oh, but they can't commit. Yeah, but I'm just doing this, oh, but they can't commit. So that's what's causing the wavering. Okay, so you want to figure out if there's an undertone of the thought transmission, because again, that's causing resistance because it's two conflicting energies. And how you discover if there's an undertone is, you know, feelings don't matter necessarily in terms of manifesting, right? Because it's your dominant things. It's your dominant thoughts, okay? But how to tell that you're truly in alignment with the thing, okay? Number one, to start off, when you're saying SP's in love with me, SP is obsessed with me, is there a little sneaky sensation where you're kind of like, and I'm not saying you have to believe the affirmations, I'm not saying that, but if you have a sneaking, creeping, you know, thought like maybe this isn't going to work, or no, but relationships don't work out, or oh, the SP is non-committal, or the SP is a cheater, or everyone cheats, or everyone is shady, then that is, you're going to get a little bit of both. But you can tell because you're just going to sense it in your vessel as like, SP's in love with me, SP's obsessed with me. Okay, how does that process? Does it process as neutral? Because then likely there's no undertones there. But if you're saying that and you feel resistance, that means there's still a story that's going on beneath the surface, either about SP or about relationships, and you're not fully in alignment with it. Okay, now how to override it? Okay, you would continue to affirm. And ideally, you would address what the root issue is that you didn't, you know, the undertone, okay? Because the root issue, like if you think all relationships are shitty, and then you're saying that SP's in love with you, SP's obsessed with you, but all relationships are shitty, then you have to say all my relationships are beautiful and perfect, and SP is obsessively in love with me in a way that I see as perfect, or whatever the case, okay? You would address both, only if there's an undertone, okay? And you don't need to believe it. And it might, maybe when you first start saying something like that, when you're addressing both the undertone and the conscious affirmation, whatever, consciously what you want, you're addressing both, it might feel weird for you to say it. It might feel weird. You still might get that little weird feeling in your vessel as, you know, they're like, okay, well, I don't know if I believe this, but the persistence in the thought is going to break down that resistance, and that's how you do it. But I would recommend finding the undertone, if there is one, and adding that into the affirmations, okay? Because when the conscious and the subconscious are in alignment, that is instant manifestation. And instant manifestations most often happen to something that there's no built up backstory, there's no resistance, so there's no doubt, there's no non-belief that you could have the thing. Okay, I want to see a yellow car. I guarantee you 99% of you don't have any beliefs about yellow cars, so the thing will happen instantaneously because there's no undertone. You're just like, okay, yeah, I want to see that, and then it happens, right? And this is why I also For me personally, I do not recommend trying to manifest little things unless you are freshly into the law, because what is the point? What is the point? Anyone could manifest little things because there's no dominating belief system. So if you want to do it for fun or whatever, but I don't recommend it. Oh, well, I want if I manifest a yellow car, SP is married to me or some shit. Like, come on. You can manifest a yellow car because you don't give a fuck about seeing the yellow car, so there's no undertone of that saying no you can't, or yellow cars are the fucking demon of all time. You know what I mean? It's like you're just a yellow car. Okay, yeah, yellow cars are so magical. I love yellow cars. Yep, you're gonna see one. Okay, so then that yellow car likely is gonna show up as magical in your experience, right? If there's a belief about it. But these little things that individuals want to say, test the law for what? If you want to test the law, go hard or go home. Test the law on some big shit that your ego perceives as big, and manifest that and go all in and say, fuck you, limiting belief, whatever the fuck you are, this is what I want, the limiting belief is now defunct, and that's it, and go all in with that. Because you want to test the law and you get the big thing, that is the ultimate fucking thing. And remember, the universe ain't testing you. Like, this is a shit when I see motherfuckers on here talking about, before you get your manifestation, the universe is gonna test you. Motherfucker, the universe is not a professor. Okay? Only your ego minds can equate that. The law is just giving you what you focus on. Okay? So if the focus is consciously, I want this, but there's an undertone of something that's contradictory to the thing that you want, the law is going to bring you both of them, because you're wavering between both, because the law does not give a shit about your beliefs. It's like, well, here and here, okay, here you go. Like, it's not, it doesn't have a sentience like that. Okay, if anything, you have the sentience to decide if something is something that is favorable or unfavorable, because individual A might find something favorable, while individual B is like, oh no, I can't stand that, right? You're still the one interpreting if something is favorable to you. So the law is not doing that. You're the one that's doing that. So this is why a lot of times, especially with like ego programming, because the ego is programmed to look for, problems and all that shit, right? So sometimes it can be easier to segue into another topic here. Sometimes it can be easier to trust the law, or say, I just knew that was going to happen, if it's something that you perceive as negative, because you're just naturally programmed to look to problem solve and to put in hard efforts into getting something that you want, because that's how you're programmed. So your mind is going to likely just revert back there because it's familiar. So like, you're perceived to look at a problem, right? Just like the story that I mentioned with the individual and my friend. So they're perceiving the problem because the problem is more familiar, because that's what they've been programmed to do. Look for something wrong in this. Can you find what's wrong in this image or whatever, right? One of those, you ever see those mindfuck fucking pictures? Okay, so you're programmed to look to problem solve and to handle shit directly and say, well, I gotta figure out how to get out of this, or I gotta figure out what to do about that, whatever the fuck it is, okay? You're programmed. Thank you, Haley. You're programmed to look for problems and to fix things, okay? So that's why you might be naturally inclined to look for something going wrong, okay? So you got a brand new job, but you're programmed to look for something wrong. I bet you the job is located, in some shitty rundown building, or but I bet the coworkers are gonna be funky or some shit, whatever, right? You're programmed to look for the problem, instead of saying, you know what, everything that I want is already to my benefit and there are no problems. So you stop looking at things through the scope of a problem, right? Because then when you go into the new job, but your mind is already pre-programmed to look for an obstacle, a challenge to overcome, you're going to go into it likely, or maybe not likely, depending on where you're at, like, okay, yeah, I love my new job, but I bet you something's going to be wrong with it, or something, right? The other shoe is going to drop or whatever. And then that's what happens. Then afterwards, you're like, you see, I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, you knew it. You knew it with conviction because you manifested it, and you knew it because that's what was familiar to you, some shitty shit happening, okay? So the whole thing with manifestation is that now you're doing the opposite. You're not looking at problems. You're looking at everything is perfect, peaceful, and better than I expect right now, right? You're not looking at a problem. You're just saying, okay, this is cool, right? And you're not trying to toil with it, because that's what you're trained to do, okay? You're trained to look at things and face challenges head on. But what if you said, this is not a challenge, what I want is already done, this situation already dissolved, right? Like with Florence Scovel Shinn, she says in her book, I think it's A Game of Life and How to Play It, she's like, oh, something about, there was some, okay, I don't know if I'm mixing up two stories, intertwining them or whatever, but basically Florence Scovel Shinn tells a story about some woman who was scared to walk under a ladder or some shit, right? And she like froze in fear. She's like, oh no, because she had a belief you shouldn't walk under a ladder, right? So she was frozen in fear, and she refused to like go down this area where the ladder was, whatever. And she refused and refused. And she goes to Florence Scovel Shinn, and she someone is yawning, I think. So she goes to Florence Scovel Shinn, and she tells her what's going on, and Florence Scovel Shinn is like, well, you're seeing it as a problem. Just face the fear head on, and the threat disappears, right? Because now you're not even looking at it as a threat or a fear or a problem. You're just like, let me just do what I have to do and walk down the street. Whether the ladder is there or not, I'm still getting where I need to go. So then the woman is like, okay. So then she makes the decision. She's like, you know what, if the ladder is there, I'm just gonna walk under it, and I don't give a fuck. And what that did right there, like I talked about, I think in my previous live, neutralize the energy, because she didn't give a fuck. She's like, yeah, if it's there, it doesn't matter. If it's, I'm just gonna do what I had to do. She neutralized the fear by saying, I don't care if there is that thing there, because I'm just gonna do what I have to do anyway. And then what happened, according to the story, is that she went to the same place, whatever, and she was all determined, like, yeah, I'm gonna walk under the ladder, I'm cool, like, this is fine, this is not a problem for me. And guess what? The ladder wasn't there anymore. Because what did she say? She said, yeah, all right, that the ladder might be there, but I don't care, because it's not a problem. So she stopped perceiving it as a problem. The shit disappeared. And that's what happens. You neutralize the energy when you stop perceiving things as a problem. Because a problem is, you're programmed to like toil with it and fuck around with it and do all this shit. So that's basically how, you're trained, how all of us are trained for the most part from a young age, how to problem solve and do all this shit, right? So if anything pops up in the 3D, and this is what I was asked before, if a 3D circumstance pops up, do you affirm against it? Why would you affirm against it? Because to affirm even against something is to acknowledge that it's there in the first place. And then now you're looking to problem solve. That's coming from the ego. That's not coming from, okay, if someone is saying they got $20 million, okay, this is one that I say in like most of my lives, $20 million in a duffel bag, unmarked bills, landed in my lap just unexpectedly, magically, miraculously out of nowhere. I don't give a fuck, okay? So anything that comes between that, I'm not seeing as a problem. Like, the $20 million is there are no problems. It's, all right, the $20 million is there, cool, no problem. All of the in-between would cease to strike fear in you if you just went with the narrative that you want and said, anything that pops up, whether it shows me something I perceive as good or bad, it doesn't matter, because this is the thing that I want. And the same can be true, like, we just talked about the ego perspective. If someone, stops perceiving something as a problem, the problem doesn't exist, because it can't, because you are the observer. So if you're saying there are no problems, where are they? If there are no problems, where are they? They're not there because there are none, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, when motherfuckers even want to manifest something that they desire, and then they get stuck in a loop of, oh my god, I saw a synchronicity, I saw 1111, okay, Okay, do you have what you want in 3D? No, but okay, then you took your focus off of the thing that you want. And you know, in the manifestation community, I think it can be motivational if you start seeing birds before land, but you know what, you don't have your shit if you don't have your shit in the 3D. So the in between, even if it is calculating to you as being positive, still doesn't matter for you to focus on, because you don't want to see SP's initials on license plates every day. You don't. And don't tell me you do, because you lying. You lying if you say, that's all I want. No, that's not what you want. You want them in the flesh, homie. So that's what you do. Oh, but I saw their initials. Okay, moving on. Cool, no problem. But I'm with SP. Oh, their initials, cute. Moving on, okay? It does not matter. So it can go both ways. You can interpret something as like an ego block or an opposite thing happening in the 3D. That's still a hindrance to your manifestation because now you're focusing on it. Or you could look at the things that you perceive as positive. That is still a hindrance to your manifestation because it is not what you want. Can I get an amen in this bitch? Exactly. That's why Neville says go straight to the end. Because like, what the fuck? Amen. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, why would you get caught up in, you know what I mean, anything that is not what you want? Like, and now someone is gonna say, okay, but what about, you know, once you get the manifestation, right? Now what? Someone is going to say that. They could be like, okay, so now you have the $20 million, you and SP are happily married, whatever the fuck you want, okay? You have the dream job, you have the perfect body, you have it. So now what? You gonna want more shit, okay? And you use the same process. How did you get from point A to point B, which is your successful manifestation? Okay, you have all that. So it doesn't stop there because you're going to want more shit. So if you get the career, then maybe you're going to want a promotion, and then it goes there and it goes there. So you keep leveling up. It doesn't shut off. It doesn't shut off. So there's no be all end all, right? So even when Neville says live in the end, your current point of focus, what you want right now, is your end goal. But what, let's say you get your end goal a week from now or whatever, then you're gonna have another end goal. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you always want to have an end goal because energy likes to flow. So now you have the SP, so what are you doing? Are you gonna fucking go on a honeymoon? Now you have the job, what are you gonna do? You're gonna ask for a promotion. Now you have the 20 milli, what are you gonna do? You're gonna buy a yacht? What are you gonna do, right? What are you doing after that? Because, okay, yeah, I got the manifestation, I'm so happy, and when the manifestation arrives in the 3D, likely you are not going to feel, oh my god, I'm so excited, I can't believe, like, there might be a point afterwards where you're like, whoa, I manifested this shit, but when it's happening, you are not going to feel it, likely, okay? It's going to seem so natural, like it was meant to happen, because that's how it goes, okay? So remember, what's natural to you might not be natural to me, because natural to me is if I have things materialize out of thin air, I am okay with that because that's my expectation. But even if something lands in my lap magically, it materializes like a fucking magician pulls it out of a hat, to me that's natural. Do you see what I'm saying? So my desires, even if they happen in a way which seems unnatural to someone else, because it's still my belief, I'm still creating it, that's why those things happen. So your desire to you is going to be what is in resonance with natural to you. So if you really don't believe or sense or whatever, you know, if you're just not in resonance with $20 million duffel bag landing in your lap, materializing out of thin air, and it's real fucking money, okay? Likely your $20 million is going to come from a lotto win, or it's going to come from something that you see as natural for you, okay? So that's also in play because everyone is having their own experiences. So for me, when I manifest things, the way that they happen is super I don't even know what word to say. Magical, odd, strange, unusual, like outrage. It's like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? It sounds like a fucking, I don't know, okay? It sounds otherworldly. Why? Because I am in resonance with that. I like to have things be otherworldly. It can't be explained, but it happens, but I'm okay with that. So when I tell individuals like the shit that be going on with me, they're like, wait, what? I beg your pardon? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, wait, but, and so, like, you see what I'm saying? So for you, when the manifestation unfolds in the 3D, it's not going to feel unusual or strange or something out of pocket to you. It's going to be natural to you. Okay, what's natural to you is not going to be natural to me, like I said. But it's still going to feel natural. It's not going to be like, oh man, you know, like I'm all excited I got my manifestation. It might be afterwards you're like, oh shit, because remember, Neville also says, you know, you could look at the Bridge of Incense after and see how it unfolded, but like while you're in it, you're likely just gonna be in it, and you're not gonna be thinking about it. It's just gonna seem natural, like you and the manifestation just harmonize together. So I don't even know. I think I began with a topic and I went to another topic, but it's all good. So that's why, like, manifestation is natural. It is the most natural thing. Okay, that's what they say in A Course in Miracles. Oh God, here's the puzzle piece. Of course. I was talking for an hour. Oh my God. How was I... Come on. How was I talking for an hour already? It feels like 20 minutes. Because time doesn't exist, which I think I want to lead into my other topic of time. Lead into my other topic of time, okay? All right. So, the topic of time, whenever anyone asks about the timing, but they've been doing this for years, for months, for weeks, for date, whatever. Oh, but nothing happened, and it's been this amount of time. You are creating the time by focusing on it, because now your end goal is time, and your end goal is not the manifestation. It is always the eternal now. So, with timing, it doesn't matter because the thing already exists. Remember, creation is finished. That place in space that you can access with your imagination, where all your dreams came true, is already there. Okay, so what time is there to think about if it exists now? Where's the time? Oh, the time is in your mind. It's like, can you put here's something else, right? Because I started off talking about thoughts and emotions are in the buffet, in the intangible buffet that are accessible to everyone. That's where time is. It's just like, it's intangible. You can't capture it, right? You can focus on it in your mind and create more of what seems like time. This is why just now with the puzzle piece, when I'm on here talking, I'm not thinking about time, so the time just, it flies. Because I'm not thinking about it. So how can time exist if I'm not thinking about it? It's intangible. You can't touch it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it. Okay? So when someone asks about time, but they've been manifesting for this amount, oh, how long do you think it's going to take? My dude, well, number one, a long time to you might not be a long time to me. Vice versa. Okay, to me, I like shit now. Like me, this is why, like, for me, and again, even with the manifestation, I like shit to move fast. Let's go. Like, I like that sensation of speed, okay? And I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable. Some individuals, you know, they're saying that they want this thing that they're manifesting, but maybe they're not ready for it right now, and then they're focused on time, not because they don't want the thing, but because in some subconscious wavelength they still have a belief that's contradicting it, and they're picking that up consciously. So like, oh well, you know, it could happen in 2 weeks, because yeah, I'll be ready in 2 weeks. Like, my dude, it's happening now. The only one that is bringing it to you or keeping it away from you is you. Because what is 2 weeks? There's no 2 weeks, because time doesn't exist to the ethers. So how can you say something is 2 weeks from now? Then logically you're creating that 2 weeks. Okay, the manifestation will arrive in 2 weeks. Okay, cool, no problem. All right, because you said so. But me, if I want my shit now, then my shit can materialize now. If you want your shit now, then you cannot look at time and just be in the moment. Now, here's something else I channeled like yesterday, I think. I don't even remember, because, you know, time don't exist. I don't even know what day today is, to be quite honest. I don't really give a fuck, okay? So, you are always in a moment in time in your mind. In your mind. There's always a moment in time playing out. And that is why time and the 3D are so like interwoven together, because that's how you measure experiences in 3D. That's how you could say, remember the time me and my homies went to South Beach and we got fucking drunk and danced on the fucking speaker, whatever, okay? Yeah, if I think of that, I'm in a moment in time in my mind. Is it going on now? No, but I'm thinking about it, so that's where I'm at. Okay, from the past perspective. If I'm thinking about something that I desire and I'm like having a visual in my mind, oh shit, like yeah, this shit, like whatever, I'm having a visual. The same thing as like have a memory. I'm in that memory now. I'm summoning that energy now. And maybe that friend that I fucking went to South Beach with fucking hits me up is like, yo, what's going on, right? Because I'm thinking of it, so it's activating it as now moment. Just like, let's say I'm manifesting what I'm gonna just keep going, the $20 million in a duffel bag. So I'm thinking like, oh man, I open the door and I see a fucking duffel bag of $20 fucking million. Ooh, oh my God. And then I'm summoning that now. So maybe what happens, I get a random fucking direct deposit in my account. Maybe not for the fucking 20 million, but maybe something, right? Because I'm summoning that now, okay? Or maybe I get the whole 20 million. I don't fucking know. But from the now moment, you're always accessing different moments in time. So we talked about the past, okay, as a memory. We talked about the future as something that you're recalling now, but you can recall it as a memory, okay? And that's also something, if you want to do in manifestation, you can have a visual scene that didn't technically happen yet in 3D, but you are recalling it as if it's a memory to get yourself more familiar with it, therefore drawing it closer to the now moment. But you're always in the now. So it matters what timeline you're activating in the now, because as I said, you're always in a moment in time now. Whether you're thinking, what am I going to have for dinner later? You're in a moment in time when it's fucking dinner time for you, ain't you now? You see what I'm saying? If you're thinking, oh man, them tacos I had the other day were so good, now you brought yourself back, right? You see, because that's what, it's very trippy actually, if you really want to get into that. So the now moment, how to be present, because remember, the now is still a moment in time, but if you're fully present, true neutrality, you're not looking to the future, you're not looking to the past, you're just in the moment. And this is why a lot of times when individuals are manifesting something and they're just immersed in the moment, like I'm immersed now of, you know, I'm not focusing on time, I'm just talking, right? I'm still in a moment in time, but I'm going now moment, now moment, now moment. I'm not going back and forth. I'm here, right? I'm here now. So a lot of times when you're just in the now moment, you're not thinking of anything. You're in the now, so you're collapsing the past memory. You're collapsing the future thing that you want, that you're recalling now and making it a memory, okay? You collapse that time. So now your desire, because it already exists in the now moment, you collapse the past, right? So there's no past time to fuck with it. You collapse the future, so there's no future time to fuck with it. So because the thing already exists now and you collapsed the past and the future and you're just immersed in the moment and you're doing it now, the thing just shows up. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Right? It entered the fucking chat. Your desire has entered the chat. Okay? So, when motherfuckers say, oh, well, I wasn't even focused on it and it arrived. Yeah, because when you're fully immersed in the now moment, the only moment is now. So you collapse the past, you collapse the future. You're not thinking against it. You're not thinking for it. You're just in the moment. And in the moment is the purest receptivity, because you're just here now. And since your desire is here now, there's no traffic jam between you and it to, you know, merge in the 3D, okay? I don't even know where that came from. That was just a random thought that I had yesterday, and I decided to share it. So, so yeah, time is a trippy thing, okay? And if you want to think of it like it's just everything is now. Your desire's done now, but you're the one that is unfolding time in your mind, because if you're thinking about time, then that's what's going to be amplified in your experience. That's why, like, if you like I said in a lot of the shit, you put some shit in the microwave and then you go, I don't know, take a shower, and you're like, all right, okay, yeah, let me just rinse off real quick while these things are getting ready or heated up or whatever. You go, you do something else. You're not focused, like counting 259, 258, 257, right? You put it in for 3 minutes. Let me rinse off in the shower, then I'm gonna go back out. My shit is gonna be done. You remain moving, and I don't mean that you had to necessarily do a physical thing. I mean you remain moving in your mind in each now moment, each now moment, each now moment, and you remain present. And then the microwave 3 minutes is gonna go by like in no time at all. You're not even gonna realize it. Compared to, if you're focused on time, how long does a microwave minute seem when you're fucking starving? You see what I'm saying? Because you're focused on the time. So what you focus on grows, but because the things already exist, the more that you remain in motion in your mind, like, okay, yeah, you know, I put my shit in the microwave, it's going to be ready, and that's fine, let me do something else, right? So $20 million in the duffel bag, yeah, it's already there, it already fucking exists, you know, I don't care, let me go do something else. I'm remaining active, I'm not looking. Is today the day where the $20 million in the duffel bag arrives? Like, no, I'm not fucking thinking that, because I'm doing something else. You remain active in your mind so as to not look at time. You keep your mind occupied. That's why something that I was thinking earlier was that phrase where, how's that phrase go? The idle mind is a devil's playground or some shit, right? So when your mind is idle, when you're not doing anything, where does your mind, because remember, the mind is never idle, right? You're always thinking about something. Even if you're thinking that you're super fucking bored, you're going to amplify being super fucking bored, because that's where your mind is at in that moment in time where you're saying you're bored. That's where you are access. You're saying you're so bored right now. Okay, a second after that, I'm so bored right now. You keep saying that. I'm not bored right now, but I'm saying, you know, I don't think I'm ever really bored, because my mind be active as fuck, and I've been doing some wild things in my mind, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't even matter, okay? Whatever you're focused on the now moment, if you're not doing something, if you're just there like, and I'm not saying like if you're in a meditation, you just let your thoughts kind of just back up. Your mind isn't idle at that point, because you're not thinking anything. You're just present in the now, because you're not thinking. So you're not thinking of any timeline. So that means that you're present. This is why a lot of individuals, they talk about meditation, and it helps them with manifestation. I mean, me personally, you know, that's like a choice up to you if you want to do meditations. I don't really do meditations because, like, I'll admit it, I can't keep my mind blank, and I don't want to keep my mind blank. Like, I don't know, like, I've not had that experience where my mind was just completely blank, honestly. Like, there's always something. I'm always receiving something. But meditation can help, because you're focus. It's like you're forcing yourself to focus on the now moment without thinking about any timeline. And if that is something that you feel will help you to train your focus to be, okay, well, I'm presently focused in the now moment, let me just relax. You can be in the receptive mode to receive your desire, because you're not thinking against it, okay? So meditation can help, but you do not need meditation to manifest. But that can help if you're having like an issue, like disciplining your mind. Meditation can help as a tool. Okay, well, I'm going to clear my mind of thoughts right now, right? Then the more you do it, the more you get into it. So the more throughout the day, even if you're not actively meditating, you still have the tools to utilize to be like, okay, I don't like these thoughts. They're contradicting my desire. Let me just blank them out, right? Like it's really, in my opinion, a tool. If you have trouble, like, you know, clearing thoughts, For me personally, if there's a thought that I don't like, I just ignore it. I'm like, scroll, scroll, scroll. Or if it's something that's recurring, I will get down to business and handle that thought. I'll be like, bitch, you ain't welcome here. What the fuck you doing, right? Like no, okay. So I will just override it with an opposing thought. I won't even, because remember, for me, I don't like my mind to be blank. Like, I like to constantly think shit, and that's just my preference. But you like to call the thoughts you don't like fake news. Yeah, I mean, you can call them fake news. You could just ignore them. You could just say, you know what, my mind is blank and free of those thoughts from here on forward, and any of those will be fine, because you're an individual. So whatever you are sensing is working for you or would possibly be beneficial for you, then that's what it is. That don't belong to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you never want to claim a thought or a condition or an emotion that you don't want, because that's just going to amplify it in your experience, right? So especially if it's like, a medical condition or something where someone is saying, oh, blah, 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 and then you keep referring to it, oh, my, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you don't personalize something you don't want. So even if, let's say, you've had anxiety, right, and you keep claiming it as yours, mine, it's like, that's not yours, but you're saying that it's yours. So now it's just gonna say it's yours. Just like the verse that I love this verse, calleth things which be not as though they were. Okay. You call the things that are not present and you claim them as yours, and then they are. And it's the reverse if there's something that you don't want. So if there's something that you don't want, you're not going to claim it as yours, and you're going to call the things that be and say, that doesn't exist. Ooh, what happened over here, right? You're not calling them anything. You're just like, well, that looks like it's there, but you know what? That's not mine. I don't want that. Call it the things you don't want as though they are not. That's not true. That's not even possible. That's not possible in my reality. What are you talking about? That's what you do. You don't claim something that you don't want, and the things that you do want, you claim it as yours. Okay? Don't take ownership of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? How can you manifest things that happen like a miracle? I mean, if you want something to happen in a miraculous way and you're on board with that, likely it is going to happen in a miraculous way because you're already on board with that story. Just the same thing if someone is like super logical and they're like, I think this bridge of events might play out in order to get the manifestation, and likely that's what's going to happen. The scientific mechanics behind birds before land. I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily call it scientific. I would call it maybe metaphysic, just because you really can't explain how those things happen. But basically, the birds before land happens because you are changing your frequency. Okay, you're changing the shape of the waves that you are emitting with your thoughts. You're changing, right? So you're now, instead of focused on something over here, you're focused over here. So now you become magnetized because that's your focus. So things of like intent assemble. It's like a magnet. So all the things that you are now focused on are going to start appearing because you're magnetizing them to you with your thoughts. That's why the birds before land happens. And it's kind of like you're training your brain to look for evidence of birds before land as well, because your brain has like different neural pathways, right? And Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. And basically, if you've always been thinking a certain way, all of those neural pathways are in alignment with that desire, right? So they take up more I don't know, chemicals in your brain or whatever. I don't know the actual science behind that. But Joe Dispenza does, so look at some of his work if you're curious about that. But basically, these neural pathways are lit up, so your brain is just going to respond to them, right? It's just going to respond like, ooh, ooh, okay. So if you're used to thinking a certain way, your brain is already kind of trained to look for evidence of that thing, of the way you're thinking, just because there's more neural pathways lit up. So then when you change your thinking, you say, okay, I want to place my focus over here. The birds before land start happening because your brain might still be dominantly having the neural pathways lit up to the old way of thinking. So that might be causing some, resistance. And because you are training it now, you might get bits and pieces of the new thing that you want, but you might not get the full blown thing because maybe you just started to think in that new way, and then that's why the full-blown thing didn't come, but you're getting little bits and pieces of it because now you're training your brain. Yeah, I know you were dominantly focused over here for a while, but now I want you to focus over here, so you're training it. Ooh, look for this now, right? It's like training a bloodhound, okay? So it's like the bloodhound goes here, sniff some motherfucker's sock and follow the scent, right? So it's trained. So in that moment, it's looking like I'm gonna follow this scent. So then, like the next day, you give the bloodhound a new fucking person's sock. Where the fuck do I get these analogies? Whatever, it's all good though. I don't give a fuck. So now the bloodhound is sniffing a new motherfucker's sock, and those neural pathways might still have been lit up the day before from the previous motherfucker's sock, but now it's like, ooh, I'm being programmed to look this way now, right? So they might not pick up the scent at first because maybe the remnants of the scent from yesterday is still in their nostril, but then eventually they're like, okay, I get the hang of it, and then they go on that other trail. I don't know where the fuck. I mean, I'm saying, I don't know. I get these random fucking metaphors, and I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they came from, the ethers, okay? So that's basically what it is. It's like, yeah. And, even with birds before lands, like, I get it can be, a positive thing, but the focus is, okay, birds before land, cool, that's cute. Moving on, this is what I want. It's like, you go, like, you know what I mean? Like, you going, to the carnival to go in the fucking haunted house, right? But you keep you're having fun because you're at the carnival and you're like, oh, I'm so excited, I'm gonna go to the haunted house, like that's where I want to go. But then there's candied apples over here, and then there's fucking popcorn over there, and then there's like shoot water into a clown's fucking mouth game over there, and then you keep getting distracted. Ooh, that's fun, that's fun. Yeah, you're still making your way to the fucking haunted house, but you're distracted by all these fucking sidewinder things, and it's gonna delay you getting to the fucking haunted house, which was the main focus. Now, I'm not saying if you're genuinely having fun, don't do it, but if you want your shit fucking now, because the thing is done now, and you want it in 3D, you don't get sidetracked at the fucking carnival. You do not. You just like, yeah, I'm here, I'm gonna go directly to the haunted house. That's it. You don't get sidetracked. That, in my opinion, is what Birds Before Land is. It's like, yeah, that's cute. Yeah, I want my shit though. So yes, you always have the option to choose. You could choose to say, yeah, well, that looks fun, so I'm gonna try this too. But then, and it really depends. Like me, if I like for damn Skippy know that I want my shit now, I'm not getting sidetracked. I'm laser beam. Haunted house, motherfucker, let's go. Boom, I'm gonna go straight there. I'm gonna weave through motherfuckers, okay? I'm a sidestep. I'm gonna do some ninja walking ass motherfucking moves to get my ass to the fucking haunted mansion, okay? Because that is my destination. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Bloodhounds to haunted house. Because like that's how I explain shit. I don't know, like I see things in pictures, so when I'm explaining something, I immediately a scene will just come to mind, and then I'm in it and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we going with this now. So those are the two that came up. But that's how it works. If you want your shit fast, do not focus on Birds Before Land. What is that doing for you? Nothing. What is it doing? You want shit fast. Boom, 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 boom. Drill it in, drill it in. Fuck yeah, okay? I don't give a fuck. No lube, drill that shit in. I don't give a fuck. And neither should you. If you want your shit fast, no birds before land, no synchronicities, no 11:11, no Lionsgate portal, none of that. None of that. This is my shit. It's done now. It's done now. What you mean? No, 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 no. It's done now. It's done now. You're the fucking boss. There's no boss other than you. I don't align with that identity anymore. That's a good one. That's true. Because there's different versions of you, right? So you can also be in alignment with someone as a version of you who says, all my desires are already done. If you're in alignment with that version of you, then you're going to get your shit really fast, because I'm in alignment with the version of me. I just like shit fast. Okay. I like shit boom. Okay. Like let's go. Like lightning. Okay. That's how fast I like my shit. Okay. So I'm already that version. Fast, now. That's what I want. Okay. So align yourself to the version of you that doesn't have a long waiting time with any manifestation. You're like, all my shit happens so fast, I don't even know. Like, I manifested this, now I manifested that, and now I'm going here, now I'm doing this. Like, you want to embrace the identity of how you manifest as well, because that can help with some of the timing. Because if you're in resonance with the identity of you that's saying that you always have to wait a year to get your manifestations, or the shit is taking too long, or then that's who you are. Yeah, you manifest things very slowly, but that's also a version of you. So even the version of you that's manifesting, there's different motherfuckers in that too, which is trippy as fuck. You know what I mean? You're saying now nothing is coming through. Well, look at what you just said there. Look at what you just said. So now nothing is coming through because you said it. So you want to change that, and you say, now I have everything that I want. It's done now. It's done perfectly, beautifully, magically, better than I expect. That's really, what I would say. If you're focused on, you used to be able to do this, you're the identity of someone who used to be able to, but now you're different, right? So and it's not even that you're going back to the old identity of someone who was able to manifest quickly, because that version doesn't exist anymore either, because it's a brand new now moment. So you're like, I am who I am right now. All my desires are here. They're here perfectly for me. And that's it. That's who I am. And you say it's done now. There's no, okay, think about it, right? You walk into the fucking coffee shop, okay? And there's fucking coffee and there's fucking tea, okay? So if you're with your manifestation, okay, coffee and tea, my coffee, my manifestation is here now. It's done now, right? That's what you're asking for. Then the barista is going to start handing you the coffee, because you're saying, this is what I want right now. My manifestations are done now. Okay, here you go. But then you look at the tea and you're like, oh, well, yeah, I don't really manifest that fast. Then the barista is going to stop, and it's going to be like, okay, here's the tea. You don't manifest fast. Here's your tea, right? And it's like the barista is now getting confused. Not that the universe is getting confused, but they're just they're giving you feedback. Okay, the coffee it's done now. Here you go. Oh, but you don't want it because you're saying that you don't manifest like that. You manifest slow. So here's the tea. And then you might get something, and then something happens and it's not there anymore. Or you think you have it, and then it turns out to be some I don't know, pseudo manifestation, okay? Even though there's no real pseudo manifestations, but it looks like a pseudo version of the thing that you want, okay? That's what you're doing. So if you're saying I manifest fast, oh, but I used to, and now I don't, that too is wavering. Ain't that trippy as fuck? You know what I mean? Exactly. The law is responding to what we think, and the law doesn't give a shit. The law is just like, okay, all right, yeah, well, you manifest fast. Oh, you manifest slow. Like, it's just giving you what you say. And this is, it's definitely not biased, nope. And it's saying, it's not saying, but it's just giving you whatever you type in the search engine. And I've been using that analogy a lot with the search engine, typing in Google. Like, you type in something and then you type in something else. So now the search engine is like, okay, well, you want this, okay, but then you type in something else, so it's going to show you that. It's the same principle. It's just like your mind and the thoughts that you're thinking are like you're typing in the search engine. That's really what it is. We are literally manifesting all the time. Yeah, I mean, definitely we are. It's just like a lot of individuals are not consciously aware of it. And it's so funny because I observe and okay, wait, whoa, something else I thought this the other day, right? This is so trippy, right? I observe different individuals, okay? Not from like a place of judgment, it's just an observation, but I believe in manifestation. So I can see with individuals how they manifested specific situations in their life because I'm observing them, right? So I'm like, yeah, they manifested that. But check this shit out. If I did not believe in manifestation, I would not be able to even observe someone else manifesting their situations because I wouldn't believe in it, so it would not be a functional calculation in my reality. So this is why these motherfuckers, right, like if they don't believe in manifestation and you even try to show them the light, like I am the way, motherfucker, listen to me, you manifested that, and they're like, no, I didn't. They cannot compute that because even though they are manifesting, you believe in manifestation so you can see it, but they cannot. Just like you have a homie and your homie don't believe in manifestation, okay? And so you and your homie are both observing the same thing go on, and you're like, oh wow, that individual manifested that, and your homie is like, that happened because this and that, or that's a coincidence. You're not even going to be able to observe someone else manifesting because you are manifesting. That manifestation is not real, so you're not going to see it. Oh my jangles, okay? My motherfucking jangles. That shit is wild. It's so wild. But we can manifest that they start to believe and see the light. You can manifest anything you want for anyone. I mean, it's your perception of that individual too. So okay, let's take it a step further. Oh shit, this is like a mind fuck now, right? So I just said, right, me and a homie. My homie don't believe in manifestation. But that's still a story that I have to accept and go with in order for my homie to not believe in manifestation, because maybe they told me that. I first met this homie. Oh, you mad? Cool, motherfucker. Okay, cool, whatever. We friends now. And they're like, I don't believe in manifestation. I respect that you do, but I don't believe in that. I would have to accept that. So if someone were to tell me, and this is trippy as all motherfuckers, I don't believe in manifestation, and if I just said, okay, to them, whatever, right? But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you do. You see evidence of manifestation all the time. Then they would start showing me that they believe in manifestation. Oh my jangles. Oh my jangles. That is so insane. It really is. Okay. And this is very, very important to keep in mind, especially if, oh, I'm going deep. I love it deep. You know what I'm saying? That's how we roll in this bitch. Ain't nothing shallow her. So, you know what I'm saying? Get your fucking wetsuit on. We diving deep, okay? Get your snorkel, whatever the fuck. When you are manifesting a person, okay, or the version of you that is with that person, because you're not really manifesting them, you're manifesting to be the version of you that's with them. Let's say you meet hottie of the fucking month, and you're like, oh my god, I'm in love with this motherfucker, they so fine. And then they tell you, you know, well, I'm not looking for anything serious. Okay. In your mind, you're like, oh, they are all about a relationship with me. They're already committed to me. They're so obsessed with me. They're committed to me. Oh my God, they stalking outside my house right now with binoculars. That's how into me they are. That's how committed to me they are. Okay, they want to handcuff themselves to my side. You still have to accept, even if you met someone and they tell you something about them, you still have to accept what they said and go with that story in order for it to prove itself to be true in your reality. And I've done this, okay? I've legit fucking done this. There was a time, this is years ago, and I was talking to someone, and this person told me something about them, like in like a relationship standpoint. And I was just like, and now this is, I knew about the conscious manifestation. They said that. And I was like, I was like, all right. And then I was like, in my mind, I rewrote it. I rewrote it the way that I wanted it to go. And then that story just started playing out. And it kept playing out because I kept going with it. Because see, here's the thing. Oh man, y'all want some information? Oh, you want some information here. You want to know how to mind fuck a motherfucker? Oh. Do we want lube when we mind fuck this motherfucker, or are we just going in? Because it's up to you. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you, and this is really a mindfuck. But remember, it's not really a mindfuck in like a nasty way, because the other motherfucker is you. So you still have to accept the story, right? So because you're observing them. So, but to them, it might look like a mindfuck from their consciousness, because let's say you meet motherfucker of the century, okay? You in love with them, they're your dream person, okay? They're everything on paper, they're everything emotionally, everything logically, intellectually. You feeling this motherfucker. They tell you, I'm not ready for commitment. And they tell you they've never been in a relationship. Let's just say that. Oh yeah, I have friends with benefits and all that, whatever, right? Okay, from the moment anything that you don't like come out of their mouth or in their actions, you're not going to say shit to them. You're not, because remember, it's a mind fuck. You're doing it mentally. You're not going to say shit to them. I mean, you can. I don't ever tell a motherfucker what to do or not to do, but ideally, if you mind fucking someone, you ain't saying nothing verbally. You know what I mean? Okay, so you want to mind fuck, but you're kind of mind fucking them in a way where they're gonna seem like it is, but you're really not doing it, because it's you activating the version of you that is seeing them not in the way that they suggested to you that they are. Does that even make sense? This will go on YouTube. But anyway, so they tell you something. They're not ready for a relationship. They've never had a relationship. Their history, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, and you're like, they're already committed to me. They're committed to me. They're so in love with me. You know what? I don't care if they've never been in a relationship. I'm the only one. So they never needed to be in a relationship, but they're committed to me right now. What is going to happen? You're going to start seeing evidence of them committing themselves to you, and they're not even going to know what's happening, right? Because they're going with the story that they're non-committal, but they start slowly committing to you. But in their mind, they're acting out of character. Even to them, they're like, oh my God, like I'm so in love with this person. Like, well, I've never felt this way before about anyone. Oh my God, I love them, right? Like, and they're all, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever. They all in, okay? They all into you. And other motherfuckers, right? Let's say they introduce you to their friends, their family, and like, you meet Meemaw and Peepaw, okay, of your dream person. Meemaw comes up to you like, yo, what'd you do to them? Like, and you're like, what? Because I fucking lived this, okay? And I was doing this even before I knew about conscious manifestation. And I'm gonna tell you how in a minute, okay? So if I forget, someone remind me. So Meemaw comes up to you like, yo, I've never seen so-and-so act like that towards nobody before. Like, did you put a spell on them? Like, joking around. And you're just like, in your mind, you're like, right? But to Meemaw and Peepaw and everyone around them, they're like, yo, I've never seen this person act that way because it's out of character. Okay, and even to them, like that, maybe you start seeing their homies like, yo, you kind of whipped over this motherfucker right here, and they're like, yeah, I don't know, they just like something, okay, because it's so out of character to them, but you projected that, so it's like they are going to start thinking strangely, and likely you're gonna start seeing other people around them act strangely. Just like I said in the very beginning, thought transmission, this is all coming full circle, okay? Some individual made another individual behave out of character because in a way they were mind fucking this person. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do. They did not accept anything that this person said or did in the 3D. They just went with the story and went with it, right? So it's kind of like a mind fuck, and then that person behaved out of character, and even they were like, yo, I never do that, like I don't even know, like it's like, yeah, I just something in my mind just clicked. I was like, I have to do this, okay? And to this day, this person, right, from that original story that I said in the beginning, is like I still don't even know what made me do it. And then they can think logically what made them do it, but they're like, that was not even me because I don't do that. So that is how, if your SP, right, if your SP tells you that they don't want a relationship, they're not the committal type, but you're like, you're already committed to me, we're already married, fuck you talking about, like, you know, whatever, you go all in with that story, they are not even gonna know what's happening with them, but it's gonna seem like they're doing it of their own volition to them, because remember, they're having their own conscious experience, but because you're the only thinker, they can only show you what you are expecting them to show you, but to them, it might be totally out of character. And other motherfuckers who've known them for years, it might be totally out of character. They'd be like, huh, like I've never felt this way before. Yeah, bitch, because you just got mind fucked and you think that those thoughts came from you. I'm so in love with them, I'm so obsessed with them, which they did, because remember, like I said, the thought is intangible, it's there. But if you're thinking of this person, the thought bank, right? When you think of them, you summon them, they are in front of you, and you're like, you're in love with me, 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 you're in love with me. It's like you're shooting laser beams. So that's all they are picking up from you, because you are the messenger sending them the message, and you are the message too. You see what I'm saying? But to their interpretation of it, however they think to themselves in their mind, they're like, I've never acted this way before. You know what? Like, maybe I should commit to them. I kind of want to. They think it's coming from them because it technically is, because their thoughts are computing whatever your thoughts are saying in the way that they talk to themselves in their minds. And that's how it works. But it's still a mind fuck, because you are just going in with the version of them that you want. And so to them, they're transforming, right? Because if we want to go with the transformation, linear time, they're having their linear time transformation of, you know, what brought them from point A to point B, right? Play it for life to commit it to you in like 3 days, okay? And then they can see it like, oh, well, I started thinking and this and that, right? Whatever time linear thing story is playing out with them, it's going to seem to them like, yeah, they wanted that to happen, and it might seem logical, but it's not. It's because you went in and you kept mind fuck, mind fuck, mind fuck, mind fuck, mind fuck. You love me, you're obsessed with me, you're obsessed with me, you're obsessed with me. And they're like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. But because the thoughts are intangible, like, yes, you're projecting your thoughts to the sentience of someone who you want to be with, okay? Now they're picking it up and interpreting it how they want to, but they're thinking it's coming from them, but it's not. It's coming from you. And they'll be confused because they might never have acted that way. This is why thank you. This is why sometimes you always hear, right? You hear stories, whether it's in a movie or a show or whatever. I've never seen this person act that way before. It's like something came over them. They behaved out of character. Right? But what made the person behave out of character? Okay? something. If there's like, okay, right, if someone is like, and then all of a sudden it's like, and it's like whoa, there something happened there, right? So or if you hear like, I used to watch a lot of true crime, right? And if you've ever watched true crime, they'd be like, oh, one day this motherfucker just snapped, went on a fucking rampage or something. But the whole while, you don't know what thoughts were being sent to them where they just snapped. Okay, so let's look at someone who I don't know, they go to their fucking job and they cause a rampage and they whatever the fuck they do, okay? They just, it seemed like they just snapped, right? Boom. But what if the whole time they were in that job, they were picking up these thought transmissions? Maybe the boss hated them, maybe all the coworkers hated them, right? Or and they were just all thinking, oh my god, I hate that person, oh, they're so weird, they're so annoying, they're gonna snap. They're picking that up on some level, and then however they're interpreting their consciousness, they're still God of their reality, okay? Yes, they might have been receiving messages from people, but they're picking that up and they're interpreting it as, you know, fuck this place, I hate everyone here, because everyone there was sending them those thoughts. So they made the conscious decision to do whatever they did at their fucking, you know, place of employment, okay? And they consciously did it as creator of their experience, but they were picking up these things the whole time that they were at that company for maybe 5 years, and that in that 5 years they were just getting bombarded with like shit thoughts from the coworkers and the boss, whatever. So it's a weird thing. Yeah. What I don't even know what's going on in the chat. I just gave another weird analogy, but you know what I mean. It's trippy to think about, because the thought transmission is always going on, but everyone, like I said, with the behavior, okay, at the buffet, they're still able to pick up the mashed potatoes with whatever utensil they want. Okay, so let's say, thank you, Adriana. So if there are a whole bunch of thoughts going on, right? Everyone is having their own consciousness experience. So I'm at the buffet. For me, I like to use a spoon. My homie likes to use a scoop. Okay, why? Maybe because my homie prefers the way that the scoop picks it up and shapes the mashed potatoes, and I just want a spoonful because I want to get something else, right? We're both into the mashed potatoes. We're both into the thoughts, but because we have different thoughts about the mashed potatoes from our own conscious perspective, we're going to take the mashed potatoes in different methods, okay? So that's how it is with thoughts. This is why, like, let's say someone who, you know, they know everyone at their job hates them, right? But they're like, you know, I don't give a fuck, I'm the highest paid motherfucker here, so it don't matter, fuck these motherfuckers, right? And they don't care, right? They're still receiving the thoughts, oh yeah, this motherfucker's jealous of me, that one doesn't want, right? But they're not gonna likely snap and do some wild shit at the fucking office because they don't care, because they're picking up the same thoughts as the motherfucker who snapped, okay? But from their conscious perspective, the thoughts were there, oh, these motherfuckers hate me, I don't give a shit, I'm the shit. So, and they don't do anything because it's a different utensil of picking up the thought, just like it's a different utensil of picking up the mashed potatoes, because these two motherfuckers, right, everyone hates them at their job, but one motherfucker is interpreting it as like fuck these people, like I'm gonna do something, and the other one's like, fuck these people, I don't care, I'm living my best life, it don't matter. Do you see? Because they both had their own conscious experiences, and they both have their own belief systems that are going on, which come into play when they are picking up the thought from the fucking intangible buffet. So honestly, it is a very trippy thing with the thought transmission. how did I become consciously aware? I mean, I think over time, I kind of always knew that there were things that were intangible. Like, I always had that knowing. But the how was, like, first is some, like, experience, which I was calling, like, psychic ability, because I'd have visualizations of things and they would happen. I'm like, oh, I'm psychic, I made that happen, or I predicted it, or whatever. But, like, then I started learning about manifestation, then I was like, oh, I'm creating it to happen. Okay. But I was always, aware, like, I was always into things that are intangible. I always was. I don't remember not being into it. Like, I always remember being able to, like, sense energies and just know shit without knowing how. So I don't know, like, some people I think are, you know, they're more open to it, and some people are not. Oh, hell yeah. The visions, like, I mean, I've had so many experiences with that. I've had a lot of, like, precognitive dreams. Like, even with visualizations, it wouldn't even be like a vision. It would just be like something I would fantasize about, and then it would happen. And, you know, I've done that. Oh, thank you for the dolphin. And you know, so I've always done that. But, like, before I knew about manifestation, I don't know if you want to even call it gaslighting, but, like, I would do that, and I didn't even know that it was gaslighting, and I didn't know that it was manifestation. But, like, I would just go with the more favorable story in my mind and roll with it. And I'm just like, yeah, this is it. Like, I would like daydream all the time. Daydream, always in my mind. Super, super active imagination. And I'm like, this is happening. And then the thing would happen. So it's kind of like you're gaslighting yourself in a way, because you're saying, well, this is happening because I want it to. That's happening because I want it to. This is happening because, like, it's like you're gaslighting yourself in your mind, which is, like, you know, kind of trippy to think about. Because if you want to put a psychological term to manifestation, it would be maybe gaslighting, right? You're calling things which be not as though they were. So you're gaslight. It's like you're tricking yourself. So, you know, if someone wants to, like, really do that, like, and, you know, we're talking about mind fucking other motherfuckers, but you can mind fuck yourself. You can mind, oh, serial daydreamer, holla. So you can mind fuck yourself because you're gaslighting yourself, and you could say, this means I already have what I want. That means I already have what I want. Oh, this is perfect right now. And you can continue saying that, and that's the story that is going to play out for you. Okay? You go with it and everything, okay? All of you in the chat right now, if you want to, like, just, you know, gaslight yourself, I'm in this chat right now because I already have what I want and everything in my life is perfect. That's a story that you're going with. And the next thing you do, you take a shit. Yeah, this toilet bowl feel real nice on my fanny because I already have everything that I want and everything is perfect. Okay? So, there you go. There you go. Like, it's like you're tricking yourself, because this whole thing is like a creation of your mind. So if you're gonna trick your mind into, you know, creating something, you might as well go with the most favorable story, because what do you have to lose? Because you're gaslighting yourself anyway, right? You're gaslighting yourself anyway by thinking of negative things that could potentially happen, okay? Because this is why, like, individuals have told me they want to manifest, like, large sums of money, but then they're scared that, you know, motherfuckers are going to try to take it from them, motherfuckers are going to look for handouts, whatever the fuck, right? And it's like, okay, so the more favorable narrative would be, I'm rich as fuck and everyone respects me and leaves me alone with that, right? That's a more favorable narrative than I'm rich as fuck and, you know, all these motherfuckers are gonna come out of nowhere, right? So you have to kind of, like, even if you're thinking of your manifestation, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, like you manifesting SP, but you don't like your in-laws, okay? And you already know you don't like them. Now you're like, yeah, I'm manifesting SP, oh, but the in-laws. You see what I'm saying? That's not favorable. That's like gaslighting yourself into, yeah, you can have the manifestation, but with a caveat. So you want to say, yeah, you know, I manifested SP, and you know what? His parents moved across the world and they don't bother us. You keep anything that you can preempt as being potential negative, you just switch it to positive, and that's gaslighting. That's like mind fucking yourself, saying, yeah, I'll get this, yeah, that could happen, but you know what, this is what I prefer to happen, so you're gonna go with that. Yeah, I like umbrella affirmations too. This live is hitting different. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here and enjoying it. Oh my god, I'm almost out of water. Is that... I legit drink so much water. It's like fucking insane. But anyway. Oh, I'm glad you tuned in too. Past lives. Past lives is something that if you believe in, you're going to see evidence of. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to see evidence of that. It's still, like, guys, even this spiritual thing is still a belief system, okay? That's why if you believe in past lives, you're going to see evidence. Oh, I had a past life with this person, and you're going to see that, right? Because it's you're going with your own belief, which is creating the matrix to bring that to you. But there's no right or wrong thing with like spirituality or anything like that. It's just like if you believe that someone is your twin flame and you're just hard body with that belief, then you're gonna see signs that that person is operating as a twin flame should, because you already have that. You already have that in your psyche. So if you believe that someone is just like, yeah, this is the love of my life, okay, cool, we're cool, then that's it, you know what I mean? But like past lives and karmic relationships and, you know, oh, the chosen ones, you ever hear about the things where motherfuckers are talking about the chosen ones, the 144,000 or some shit? That too is another belief. If someone is talking, and I tell you, because I was in that community. And I'm not saying like it's right or wrong or whatever, but like the chosen ones, 144,000, it's still a belief. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to play out as true for you. Whatever you believe to be true is true. That's why there's different groups of spirituality. There's different groups of niches. There's different things. So if you believe that you're one of the chosen ones, 144,000, you're going to see evidence of that, whether it's true or not, because there's motherfuckers that don't believe in that and they're not going to accept that as true. So everything is a belief. If we just want to talk about the law aside from spirituality and you know, because they get kind of, you know, jangled together. If we want to talk about the law, what you believe in is true for you. Point blank, period. Oh, you love my videos. Thank you. So, science and spirituality go hand in hand. I mean, I could see that. I mean, I don't know. I think, isn't that what would be metaphysics, science and spirituality, kind of? Like even quantum mechanics, honestly, can be kind of like spiritually inclined if you think about it, because it really can't be explained to the extent where it makes sense scientifically only, you know? Yeah, metaphysics, hell yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I have belief systems in that, okay? Like me, like I do believe in some of the spiritual concepts, and there's nothing right or wrong about it. So if someone has an interest in that, I will talk to them about it because it's something I have an interest in. But when I'm on here and I'm talking about manifestation, that's it. Okay, I don't bring my spiritual beliefs into it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm into tarot and astrology, but I don't talk about that on here because I believe in it. Manifestation does not say because I believe in something, you believe in it too. The law is the law. If you don't believe in astrology, it's not going to be true. If you don't believe in tarot, it's not going to be true. So like with anything, with spirituality, chosen ones, light workers, oh my God. Oh my God. I was in the thing where motherfuckers would say that they're light workers and like, okay, I never really resonated with that, but like I never really even knew what that meant. But yes, I've been in those communities. It's interesting, but that's not the law. Like the law is just, you believe in this, here you go. Here's evidence of your belief, no matter what it is. The law of attraction community is full of limiting beliefs and gurus. Well, okay, I have a question for the audience, actually. I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts and opinions are. What would you think is the difference between the law of attraction and the law of assumption? Because I always see those two get like misconstrued for being the same thing. So what do you guys think? Do you think there's a difference? I'm just super curious because, you know, law of attraction, law of assumption, like I've never seen the difference. It's just they're using different expressions to convey the same thing. Law of attraction is more about your vibration. Law of assumption is your mindset. Law of attraction is limiting, have to be aligned with the frequency, etc. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that too about your vibration and aligned with the frequency, but you're always vibrating something, right? And you're vibrating through your thoughts. I feel like maybe the law of attraction people take as like you have to feel a certain way. If that's what you're saying, like aligns with the frequency. The law of assumption, I mean, if you're thinking something, you assume it to be true, that frequency is already aligned with you because you're saying it's true. So you have resonance with it, and then that's what it is. Law of attraction is about attract, desire, and positive, and the other is about assuming and claiming it. Oh, law of assumption makes a lot more sense and to the point. Yeah. Well, okay, if we want to think of it like that, from what you guys are telling me, like maybe the law of attraction is geared towards like receiving, and the law of assumption, is geared more towards like proclaiming and taking. Don't believe you need to feel good to manifest. It's law of attraction. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that. You know, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't really, like when I hashtag it, I'll put law of attraction, law of assumption. I don't care because it's like the same type of community. But I personally never really saw the difference. I think the way that they word things, because when you assume something, it's automatically attracted to you, and you're automatically attracted to it, right? Because you're always emitting a frequency of that which you assume to be true. So it's just always coming towards you. So I think maybe the law of attraction, you have to feel, they do? Oh my God, I didn't even know that. They're saying you have to feel a certain way. That's fucking interesting. I haven't really been in either of those communities for like a while. I just kind of, you know, like if I see videos on here, whatever, then like I'll look at them. But I just, for me, I call it manifestation, reality creation, because that's what it is. The law of assumption. And it's not even really like the law of assumption. It's just kind of like the law of the mechanics of how your desires or the things you think about come into play in the 3D realm, which is like you're assuming something to be true, you're claiming it as yours, you're emitting that frequency to attract that experience to you, and it happens. So I don't know, for me, I like manifestation. I really don't care what anyone calls it, but that those are interesting perspectives. Like with law of attraction being more feeling based. I mean, I guess you can kind of see it that way, and law of assumption being more logically, mentally based. Law of attraction equals your reality is outside of you. Law of assumption, your reality itself. Okay. Wow. I'm glad you guys are clarifying this for me, because I really, like, I don't know, I haven't really paid attention. Tell Sobek I said what's good. I'll be sure to pass that along. And some pip in law of attraction have some limits on what's possible to manifest. Okay, yeah, they do, really? They say it's not, what does some of them say in law of attraction it's not possible? It is still based off of beliefs, definitely. You saw massive tangible results practicing law of assumption. Yeah. Saw some creators saying that not everything is possible to manifest because some things are not for you. Oh God. That is an awful limiting belief. They'll be like, oh no, it's not possible to manifest height change. And it's like, because you've shrunk your height. That's amazing. Law of attraction is like when people first start becoming aware of manifestation. Easier to grasp. Yeah, maybe. But like, even like, I remember I started getting into like manifestation with like Abraham Hicks. And even now looking back on it, I'm like, some of that shit is kind of, it's helpful if you're first getting your feet wet into it, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like I remember she would talk about something like high flying disc or some shit, and I'm like, like I don't know, it was very strange. Oh, The Secret. I remember seeing Secret. I mean, it's good if you're first getting into it, and I remember when that like is it on Netflix? I don't know, whatever. And everyone was fucking talking about that shit. And I'm like, I kind of knew, like, even before I knew what it was, I remember The Secret and people were talking about it. I was like, okay, I've been doing that, but I didn't know that it was a thing. Because before I knew about any of that, I was visualizing things and then they would literally happen. And I was just like, oh, well, I'm psychic. I predicted it or whatever. And then it's like, oh, I summoned that to me. I created that. So it's very, very interesting. You are still manifesting with law of attraction? Well, but, okay, wait, I'm so confused. So are there different methods to manifest with law of attraction and law of assumption? I mean, because technically there are no methods. The methods are just there to help keep you focused on what you want. But, like, are there different methods? No, you don't have to... Oh my God, I've been talking so much I'm coughing. No, you don't have to feel a certain way. You definitely don't. And specific vibration, you're always vibrating. So it's like, how can you calculate, like, what does this vibration mean? It's like your thoughts are vibrating. Everything is vibrating. You're always doing that, you know? Most of law of attraction methods are about feeling in high vibe. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, law of assumption gave more clarity, especially Neville Goddard. Oh, I love Neville Goddard. Like, he's, like, in my opinion, like, the OG. Him and Florence Scovel Shinn are, like, my two favorites. I mean, like, their books and things are, like, okay, like, kind of, you know, they're old-timey, whatever, in the way that they talk or whatever. But, I mean, when were they around the fucking... I think Neville has a story from, like, the 1920s or some shit. And, like, Florence Scovel Shinn, I think, was, like, in the 1920s also, which is, like... interesting, like 100 years ago. I remember, I think Neville was oh yeah, I love Reverend Ike. Oh man, he's fucking amazing. I love it when I see his videos on here. But like, I mean, I I don't know if I would like Joseph Murphy. I've heard he was like out around the same time period as like Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn, but I'm not really too familiar with his works. I know that him and Neville both studied under Abdullah, so they need to have like a book or a video or something on just what Abdullah would say, because the power of subconscious, I have that book. I like skim it from time to time. I haven't read the whole thing back to back. But someone is yawning. I don't know, because I keep yawning and I don't really yawn. You would say you're in Barbados. Hell yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm trying to think if there was a moment that really made me understand the law, like, when I started studying it. And the thing that clicked for me was when I first started talking about manifestation. I did it randomly, okay, on here. And I was just like, I'm doing it for fun, let me just do it, whatever. And around that time, I read about, Neville Goddard and the Barbados story. And I was like, oh, that's fucking amazing. Because I've done that even before I knew what manifestation was. I would visualize scenes before I would go to sleep, like since a fucking teenager. And I didn't know that I was doing a manifestation. I was just like daydreaming, oh, this is nice, and it would happen. And I'm like, oh shit. So I think for me, just because I visualize naturally, like I was like, oh, okay, Barbados, visualize, I've experienced that before, and it clicked for me. And then I started posting videos randomly on here, and then like a few, I think like 2 months into me posting my first video about manifestation on here, what happened is that I channeled this message, because I channel whatever, I do other things other than manifestation, but I was channeling, and the message I got was, I am the key. I was like, okay, and I wrote it down because I'm like, this seems like it might be significant. And so 2 weeks after that, I didn't think about it again. And then I was presented a box of like things from my childhood, whatever, like little trinkets, jewelry, I don't know, pins, whatever. And in it was a Barbados keychain. And 2 weeks before that, I was like, I am the key. And then I get a keychain of Barbados when I first started talking about manifestation on here. And I heard Neville Goddard's Barbados story. And I've never been to Barbados, and I don't know anyone who's been to Barbados, so I don't know how that keychain even got in there. So I was like, oh, that is wild as fuck. So that's what made it really click for me about this. Oh, you made a song about that story if you like reggae? Oh shit. What is the song called? Is it on like Spotify or something? Because like that would be fucking lit, I think. But like, yeah, there's weird, I think Neville Goddard, like he kind of just explains it in like a no nonsense way, and so does Florence Scovel Shinn. Like, she's just like, it's not like Florence Scovel Shinn has some spiritual undertones to it, where she's like, oh, the right decision or something. It's like, I don't resonate with that part, because you make the right decision. Okay, choose your own reality. I will when I'm off of here. Thank you for sharing that. Neville explains it straightforward. His wording is esoteric. Yeah, it can be. I mean, I think when you look up Neville Goddard, they describe him as like a mystic or something. Are people in your reality real? That is a really good question, actually. Because, if someone is saying everyone is you pushed out and other people are avatars and they have no free will in your reality, like, that doesn't mean that they're not real. Like, you can't touch them and taste them and do things with them. You know what I mean? They're real in that sense, but they're real to the extent of what you believe about them. This is why, like, if you don't want someone in your reality, you don't think about them. And then they cannot be real in your experience because they're not on your mind consciously. So that's why if there's ever, someone that you don't want in your experience, or you're just like, oh, I'd like for that coworker to move away. You don't pay attention to them. Then technically, because you're not focused on them in some shape, form, or fashion, they have to disappear out of your reality, and they don't become real anymore. But I mean, they could be real as like a person that, has flesh and shit, but like they're not real mentally unless you consciously are mentally thinking of them as being real. Yeah, the latter story, that was really like that one, because I've had experiences like that too. Like not over anything really major, but I've had experiences like that too, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this or whatever. Then I'm like let's say you RSVP to an event, and then on the day of, you kind of don't feel like going. And I would be like, I don't really feel like going, but I already RSVP. And then the event gets canceled when I'm like, I'm okay with going, but you see what I mean? And the thing just disappears. Yes, the problem is gone, or the fear of. That's true. If you don't think of anything as a problem, and if you don't think of anything as a thing to be fearful of, then that can't exist in your reality. You've done that with flights. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You do that with everything you want. Can we manifest everything even someone doesn't know you exist? Yeah. I mean, number one, stop saying that they don't know you exist if you want to manifest them. Say, of course they know I exist. I'm the best thing that's ever happened to them. They want to be my best friend, or they want to hire me for this company, or whatever it is you want from them. I mean, nothing is unattainable. It's just your perception of if you think it's unattainable. Everything is one consciousness. It's just that there's, because we're in different vessels, and because we can touch things and say, this is mine and this is yours. It's like I said in the very beginning, the thoughts are intangible. It's one. Everyone has access to that. That's why even when individuals in like the manifestation community start talking about free will, this violates your free will, in divine timing this will happen, I'm like, that's so limiting, because there's no free will if everyone is one. It's just you're changing how you perceive that individual, and they're experiencing whatever changes in their mind or however they're interpreting it. You're just tuning into the version of them that you want, which already exists. So on paper, it looks like maybe they metamorphosized into, play of the fucking century to like your dream partner, but they're not. It's just because you tapped into that version of them, a sequence of events might play out that seems like it got there, but it didn't. It was already in existence, but it just kind of molded and shaped itself naturally according to your belief about being in alignment with that version of them that you preferred. It's not them. You're not changing them. It can look like it to the 3D that something changed shape, but really nothing changed shape. It just looks like that, like the growth process of the individual from, play of the century to your dream partner. Okay, yeah, in 3 days they blah blah blah, this happened. Yeah, on paper that looked good, but what you did, you weren't even focused on the shit version of them. You just focused on the version of them that you want to show up, and then the reality rearranged itself to get you there. You were the operant power. You are the constant motion. That other person is not changing, because it's like play of the century over here and your fucking dream partner. They're not the same person. They are not the same person. So you're not doing anything to them. You, from your consciousness, are accessing this version. This is a channel I want to watch now. So you turn your head to look at that channel instead of look at that channel. That's why there's no free will, because you're the only free will, because you decide what channel you want to watch in every fucking moment. So like with manifesting specific motherfuckers, I'm telling you, the old version of them has to go. It has to be completely wiped from your fucking mind. Okay? If you've ever heard a story of like someone manifesting an SP, right? And they manifest the SP back, and then the old behavior starts showing up again, that is because you never fully dropped the old version of them. That's why. This is why you can manifest SP 8 million times and the same shit might play out 8 million times, because a part of you still was tapped into that other version of them. You did that, okay? Not because you wanted to, but because you were holding on to some shit version of them. That's why you get the hot and cold back and forth, because it's like they're two separate motherfuckers. SP who's a fucking asshole, or the SP who's in love with you. You see what I'm saying? So you want the asshole version, then that's who you focus on. You replay old arguments. You have conversations in your mind. I could have said this motherfucker said that, or whatever, okay? Asshole version, you're focused on it. You think the dream version of them is going to show up? No, because you're focused on this version of them. So the dream version of them is over here. So you're looking over here, they're in love with me, they're obsessed with me. Then you manifest them back, and the old memory comes up of you got into an argument and they called you this and this happened and you blocked them 6 ways to Sunday. I bet you if I say something, they gonna block me or whatever. And you see, you brought that into the equation because this version would not do that. But then you tapped into the shit version of them, and then you created this, okay, you manifested the perfect version, but now the perfect version is no longer in front of you because you changed the channel to look at the asshole version of them because of a memory. So this is why I'm telling you, with SPs that you have a history with, that you might as well have a funeral for that motherfucker, because in your mind, you know what I'm saying, because they no longer exist. They are dead, they are gone, they are disintegrated, okay? They do not exist at all. What is the version of them you want? That's it. You look here. You don't replay conversations. You don't look at old text messages that are unfavorable. You don't do any of that, because that's focusing on the version of them that you don't want. They do not exist. Yes, you can say, okay, they're the same person, they have the same body, but they're not the same. Okay? So you have a choice. You have a buffet of SPs. Let's go with this. First we have mashed potatoes, now we have specific motherfuckers. Okay, so we at the fucking intangible buffet. And it only becomes tangible depending on the version of them that you choose. So they're all sitting there, they all look like SP, and they're wearing the SP uniform and whatever, right? You're good to go. But the personality is different. Or maybe the looks are somewhat different, okay? But you know that they're your SP. And you select, do you want Espetito, what? I have no idea what I'm even talking about. Do you want SP potatoes, or do you want SP ice cream, or do you want SP blueberries, right? There's different versions of them, okay? So basically, you love my lives, thank you, and thank you for sharing the live. So you have different versions of the same person that you are selecting which one you want. So you take blueberry version of SP. Okay, cool. Now we're going to focus on this. You don't need to do anything else but keep eating the blueberries. And that version is going to, it's going to maybe look like they're changing, or they could just show up one day a changed individual and you're like, whoa, that was fast. But you focus on the blueberry version, and you don't look at the mashed potato version, and you don't look at the ice cream version if that's not what you want. So you have to be prepared to say goodbye and let go to the old version of them that you do not favor. My lashes are tea, thank you. Are you not tired? You've been live for so long. I'm thankful, but OMG. How long was I on live? Honestly, like, when I get on here, time does not exist, which I said. I'm not necessarily getting tired, but I am getting a little hungry, and I need to refill my water bottle, so I'm probably gonna, like, you know, jump off here soon. How to get over feeling like it's not happening fast enough? You can't look at time. You cannot look at time. If you're looking at time, you're focused in the wrong direction. That's when I would say that you say it's done now, it's done now, I don't give a fuck, it's done now. That's where I would recommend going in with just saying it's done now, there's nothing else for me to do. It's already done. It's already done. Okay. And if you find yourself looking at time, you force that. You say it's already done. There's nothing for me to do. It's done now. It's done perfectly, peacefully, better than I expect. That's it. I'm the Lord and there is none else. Whew. I'm just jamming. Oh, South Africa. I love that you guys are like all over. I absolutely love that. Thank you all for tuning in. I think, how long was I on? I don't even know. But yeah, I'm gonna do like one more question. I always say that, but one more question. I don't know if someone has a question that they think might benefit our entire audience here. But if you don't, maybe I'll like channel some weird one. Oh shit, it was over 2 hours. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I didn't even realize. I mean, I do feel like my voice is getting like but yeah, I enjoy the lives, and like I don't go on like regularly. Like I know some individuals go on like, I don't know, every day at 12 I'm on live, or specific days I'm on, like I just pop on here when I'm in the mood. That's probably why the lives go for so long, because I'm actually feeling like it. Like I don't get on a live unless it's like an inspired fucking action. Honestly, I really don't. I don't force myself to adhere to a schedule to like put on a live. Like I'm just like, I feel like it. So then that's probably why, because it just flows, because I'm in the zone, because it's an inspired action. So I'm not looking at time when I'm in an inspired action, you know? Yes, they made me do the puzzle today. I did the puzzle. It seems like ages ago. I did that a while ago. Definitely flow state. The only lives you joined. Thank you. Yes, I will be uploading this to YouTube. Definitely. I don't even know how long this has been talking, but shit. I think I am getting fucking tired. I'm like, how long this has been talking, but I'm talking about me talking, so maybe I should. I need some water, okay? But you know, the thing that I do want to say, if any of you are like for anything at all that you're manifesting, the best thing that I can tell everyone in general, for all of the audience, persist in saying that it's done. It is done now. I am the Lord and there is none else. There is nothing for me to do, because it is done. It is done now. It is done perfectly, peacefully, better than I expect. And that can be a general affirmation, and you can apply it for anything. For anything. Just say it's done. And it works to kill time, because you're literally saying it's done now. There's nothing for me to do. It's done now. It's done now. It's done now. It's done now. That's it. Okay? It's done now. It's done perfectly, better than I expect. I am the Lord and there is none else. And if the thought pops up again, but where is it? But how's it going to happen? But it's taken this long. But look at the time. But this has to happen by a certain time, right? Whatever. I'm the Lord and there is none else. It's done now because I said so. It's done now. No, it's done now. The ego's going to kick in. No, but the timing. Oh, but this. But what if that? It's done now. It's done now. And you don't even have to specify what it is, because your mind already knows what it is, because it's alerting you that it's not there. So you don't have to say, well, I'm married to SP now. I have my dream job now. No, you just, whenever it comes to your mind, you just, it's done now. That's it. Save yourself from, affirming a whole lengthy sentence. I have all my desires right now, and I have my SP, and I'm happily married. No, Your subconscious knows. Your conscious knows what it is. So you don't need to reiterate what the thing is when it pops into your mind. It's done now. That's it. Keep it general. It's done now. Nothing for me to do. Okay, yeah, cool. No problem. It's done now. It's done now. That's it. Boo. Oh, you adore me. Thank you. I adore all of you in here, and thank you for joining me. But that would be my, like, the last tidbit of advice for this live. For anything at all, it is done now. It is done perfectly, peacefully, better than I expect. I'm the Lord and there is none else. It's done now, nothing for me to do. And I find that one, at least for me, I'm the Lord and there is none else. It's like, oh shit. Like, that's like, slap a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the Lord and there is none else. Like, what? I mean, what? There's no response to that. Like, what response can you give to that? I am the Lord and there is none else. Like, oh shit. So, I am going to end the live and I will put this on YouTube. Thank you all for joining me, and may you enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, I don't know. All of your manifestations are done now. They're already here. And I'll be seeing ya. So let me get this on YouTube before it gets super long, and then it takes even longer to upload. Bye everyone. Thank you all.